Hi, I'm Israel Anderson and welcome to the very first video on Rand Paul flicks. I'm here in the Exiled TV studio. Exiled TV is a new show that I'm producing that has a libertarian bent and is a little different to anything else out there at all, and you'll hear more about that soon. But today we're very privileged to have the one and only former senior advisor to the Ron Paul campaign, Doug Wead, with us. Doug, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me, Israel. What's happened? You're the incredible shrinking man. You're getting thinner.
Yeah, I've lost a few pounds. When I interviewed Gary Johnson last year, right, it was actually earlier this year, still 2012, and I saw myself in that video. I couldn't believe it. I was so overweight, and somebody came along a few weeks ago, wink wink nudge nudge, and told me about this amazing new product, and I've been taking it and the pounds have been dropping off. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that tonight. But it's amazing stuff. It really is working well. Doug, I wanted to get you on this very first show, being that I was able to interview you several times during the Ron Paul campaign and really get to the nitty-gritty about some of the details and what was going on in the campaign. So I want to ask you now about moving forward. Rand Paul is the obvious name that is now being branded about to be running in 2016. Ron Paul's very own son. And yet people do have some reservations, and we'll get to those in just a second. But my first question to you would be, Rand Paul 2016, is this something that's going to happen? Does Rand Paul intend, does he plan, has he got ideas about running for the highest office of the land in 2016?
I'm sure he hasn't decided yet. It's too early for him to decide. But I've decided, I've decided that I think he ought to run because he could be a tremendous fundraising machine. He has sat at the feet of his father. He knows these liberty issues from a child up. He's been a very effective senator. He's got a great sense of humor, a wry sense of humor in the U.S. Senate. I don't know anybody like him in the U.S. Senate. And he just embodies, for me, the future of the Republican Party because he has support of youth and Hispanics and many who have felt on the outside, champion of civil liberties, understands the tremendous drain that takes place economically and emotionally and morally from constant wars. There's just so much about him that I like, and I hope that he does run.
And I do too, and that's why I've gone ahead within hours of the election results being announced, popping open Rand Paul flicks. And so for those of you who are new, we have a Facebook page which you can find at facebook.com/RandPaulFlicks. We also have a website, randpaulflicks.com, and of course you can follow us on Twitter as well, the simple handle @RandPaulFlicks. Doug, there is an issue of contention though that is coming up all the time. I'm seeing it in creating this group. People are talking.
You're always way ahead. You're always way ahead of everybody.
I try.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. The issue that people keep raising is a simple one. Why on earth did Rand Paul endorse Mitt Romney over his father?
Because at the time he believed and his people believed that the numbers showed that Romney would win the nomination, which he did, and to ever be considered as the nominee yourself, you have to be show loyalty to the party, enough loyalty to support their honor bearer, their nominee. You can't expect people to support you as the nominee if you don't support as someone else when they're chosen as the nominee. It's that simple.
Okay.
Now, the neocons have played that game to perfection. If you'll remember, in 1964, a conservative, Barry Goldwater, won the nomination. And the Eastern establishment, a lot of them were just so furious they wouldn't support Goldwater, but Richard Nixon, who was a member of the Eastern establishment, he said, no, Goldwater won the nomination fair and square. And so he supported him, much to the consternation of others in the Eastern establishment. And he supported Goldwater and campaigned for him all across the country. 4 years later, Richard Nixon was elected president of the United States. If you want to win the presidency and you want to be the nominee of the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or the Libertarian Party, you have to endorse who their nominee eventually is. You can't pick and choose and then turn around and expect them to endorse you and tell them that's not fair. I'm your party's nominee. You got to support me. If you won't support the nominee when it's someone you disagree with. So those are the rules. Do we like the way this two-party system operates? No. Is it constitutional? Was it envisioned by the founding fathers? No. I don't like it. None of us like it. But that's how it happens. All these many parties that are in other countries they have, all of our various parties are all funneled into two. And we don't like it. I don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. But that's the way it is. And if we're going to get our views, if we're going to get our views heard and seen and understood, we're going to have to win the nomination. And to win the nomination, we have to show that we're loyal Republicans even when we lose.
Okay. So I understand this is more a political compromise, not a standards or ethics or philosophy compromise.
I understand it too. I don't like it, but I understand it. And I've mentioned before that the Eastern establishment Republicans, the banking, the Federal Reserve Republicans, they know how to play this game and have done it very effectively. When Barry Goldwater won the nomination and he was representing a more conservative view of the world, when he won the nomination, many in the Eastern establishment were furious and wouldn't support him. Richard Nixon supported him as the nominee, flew all over the country and campaigned for him. Even though Goldwater was unpopular with the Eastern establishment. And 4 years later, Richard Nixon was the nominee and was elected president. He could say to those Goldwaterites, hey, I supported you. It's my turn. You support me. Right. They know how to play the game. We've got to learn at sometimes to be political if we're going to be successful politically.
Right. So this is like a big political game of chess where we've had to sacrifice, one thing in order to get the other opponent into checkmate almost.
I knew what Romney represented. His biggest donor was Goldman Sachs. I was no big fan. Every time I was on TV, if you go back and look at some of I took a shot every chance I got, but we didn't win the nomination.
Right. I guess that's what causes a lot of people to question, is Rand Paul Ron Paul? No, obviously not. Rand Paul is Ron Paul's son. And the whole analogy of the apple falling far from the tree, whether it has or has not, comes up all the time on Facebook and Twitter and so forth. Tell me something, from what you know about Rand, where do the similarities lie? Where do they end? I mean, how close philosophically is Rand Paul to the man we know very, very well, Ron Paul?
No, he grew up at this table. He's the son. He's very much a part of the liberty movement. He loves the liberty movement. He loves the Constitution. He believes in America first. He opposes all this government regulation. You've seen that. He fights for it. He's alone in the U.S. Senate often in standing up for civil liberties and standing up to end this subsidies of other nations, subsidies of other peoples, subsidies of other corporations. He believes in free enterprise and free markets. He's a true Republican in that sense. So I think he would be just a tremendous candidate. Is he going to be Ron Paul? No, he's going to be Rand Paul.
Okay. Well, Doug, I think that kind of covers it. We're going to come back and talk to you more often and, see what's going on in the Rand Paul world. I have decided to throw my support behind Rand Paul, everybody, because I think this is simply a game of chess. I think that a sacrificial move was made in order to get our enemy off guard so that we would have a chance to come in and put them into checkmate. This is a common way of playing the game of chess amongst those who really know what they were doing. They will sacrifice what appears to be a big player like a bishop in order to be able to put their opponent into checkmate because it's a lure. And it appears very much to me that that is all Rand has done here. He's playing the game. We have Ron Paul, who has been an ideologue for 30 years and has kind of set the benchmark for us and educated us and created a movement. But now it's time for somebody like Rand Paul, who knows how to play the political game, who has literally been beside Ron's side his entire life, obviously being a son, has watched how Ron was able to achieve things and where he was not able to achieve things and learn why. Rand Paul is a very, very astute businessman. He's a brilliant person, and I think this is a game that he is playing very, very well. I'm supporting Rand Paul because I believe he is somebody that truly can take the Republican nomination in 2016 and will be an incredible president to unwind the tyranny that we've had all this time and inject liberty, a big dose of liberty, back into our union. So, Doug, thank you again very, very much for coming on this very first Rand Paul Flicks show, and we will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for filling. Go out and get yourself a hot fudge sundae. You're losing weight. Look good.
And for the rest of you, Doug and I do have some other news to share with you. So please click the link at the end of this video and watch what that is all about as well. And you can learn how you can support me in my efforts towards continuing the fight of liberty with Rand Paul Flicks and with Exiled TV. I'm back with the former senior campaign advisor to the Ron Paul campaign, Doug Wead, and we have some other interesting news to share with you. Doug, thanks for coming on this show again. What did you want to share with me? You've told me about this thing called Liberty Networks and how it can help those of us like myself and others that are in the cause of liberty so that we can make sure we can keep doing this. What's on your mind here?
Yeah, after the Ron Paul campaign was over, I needed to make some money. And I believe in multiple streams of income, MSI. So you're not dependent on one boss or one client or one patient or one company, but you have multiple little streams of income, $1,000 a month from here, $5,000 a month from here, another $2,000 a month from here. You will have a lot more liberty and freedom and independence and security if you have multiple sources of income. And one of those, to me, this is a no-brainer, should be a network marketing source of income. If you've already got one of those, great. We in the Liberty Network will help you and keep you motivated and keep you accountable and do whatever we can to help you right where you are in the company that you're working with. You don't have one, you can join us. Now, what's the idea? The idea is that opening a restaurant is going to cost us several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Buying 6 or 7 houses and renting them out costs a lot of money. But a network marketing company costs you nothing to get into, and it's going to be replacement money monthly. You're going to buy cosmetics or toothpaste from your company or diet shakes from your company instead of a milkshake from McDonald's, which is, anyway, I won't get into my description of big companies and where they get their money from the Fed. But the bottom line is a network marketing company is kind of a no-brainer. There's no investment in it. Everybody should have one and have a little money coming in from it. Now, I know because I've been here before. I did it. I did it in the Amway Corporation. I went diamond. I made money off of it monthly for many years. And I was able to get into politics, do the things that I wanted to. It ended up in the White House. So our object now, Israel, was for the next couple years before the political campaign heats up to launch a network we chose Isogenics as the company. There were 4 network marketing talent who'd been in network marketing for 30 years who went with me on tour for 6 months. We studied very intensely 20 different companies. We talked to their former distributors who left to see what they had to say with it. We read through their lawsuits. We just checked them as much as we possibly could. Of course, Googled them to death, and to try to find the best. And we also tested email tests to see which were the easiest to sponsor, because we wanted this to work for the average person. And because it won't work for anybody if it doesn't work for the average person. How well does it work for the average person? We learned that Isogenics was extremely effective. People are overweight right now. That's one of their premier products. Weight loss, they have many others, but that was one. So we were off to the races. For about a week, I was sponsoring people, and I noticed, whoops, they're all coming in from the liberty movement, and I didn't intend this. What are they going to say? People in the liberty movement are going to think I'm taking advantage of it. So I emailed Dr. Paul. I said, is this okay? I emailed some of the leaders of the campaign, said, this is what I'm doing. I need to make an income. Is this all right? And they said, fine. And so we got Ronnie Paul involved, Ron Paul's son, Ronnie Paul, his daughter, Lori Pyatt, Paul Pyatt involved. And we're now a couple weeks old. We've got about 60 people in it, and we're moving. And it's very exciting. It's a lot of fun. This right now is kind of in a beta phase. We're not going public with it. There are some networking marketing leaders who know what we're doing that have come on board. So if you've never been involved in network marketing, here's a chance for you to get involved. You can work directly with me, with Israel, with Ronnie Paul. We'll help you build your groups. We've got network marketing leaders that can advise you, that have been in it forever, 35 years or so, who are in this one to make money. And they can help save you a lot of time and effort by telling you to go this way instead of that way and why. And we're in the hottest company right now. So what's there to lose? I decided there's nothing to lose. Let's get in and build this thing. And we're doing it. And the object is to come out of this in a few months with a few $1,000s a year in extra income, and have that income coming while we do activist work that we want to do. So that's the whole idea. I'll say one other thing, Israel. I was talking to Nick Spanos about this, and he's saying, a lot of the kids up here I'm working with have no jobs at all. They're all complaining about it, but you can't just sit around and wait for the government to give you a job. That's what free enterprise is all about, and that's what we're talking about, is free enterprise. So get in there and do something yourself. If you only get $12 that month, fine. If you get $12,000, fine. You earned it. Get out there and do it. So that's what we're doing, and it's turning out to be a lot of fun.
Doug, you said there's nothing to lose, but I gotta tell you, I've lost a lot because
You can wait. I'll agree with that.
Because everybody, you've seen my 30-day cleanse challenge where I covered up the labels on the products, and I didn't want to talk about who this was, and now obviously this is Isogenics.
Was I not supposed to say that?
No, that's all fine. No, we're revealing the name of the company now, so it's all good. But this is the first time most people are hearing from my lips that it is Isogenics.
But I want people that are in MonaV and in Amway and in other companies, I want them to know that the Liberty Network will support them and help them any way we can. This was the company that we picked after our research to do it. But if you're in another company, you stay right there and work as hard as you can to get an income from it.
Well, you say that, but I've been involved in health and nutrition, Doug, for 22 years, and looking at the product ingredients that we find in these Isogenics products, there's nothing like it. We're talking about no soy whatsoever, 100% certified non-GMO, no artificial coloring, flavors, preservatives, or sweeteners. So there's no sucralose, there's no Splenda, there's no aspartame, there's none of the crap that you find in almost every other diet product. And the base of their product is a whey protein source from seasonally milked. That means they're not kept pregnant with hormones all year round. They're only milked for a few months of the year. Seasonally milked, pasture-fed, organic cows, milk cows from New Zealand of all places. So we're talking about the highest quality whey protein, and it's not whey protein isolate. This is whey protein concentrate. In fact, it's undenatured whey protein concentrate, which means it's going through a process instead of going through chemical like acid baths and heat to extract the protein. It gets pushed at pressure through a membrane, so it's a cold extraction. Everything you could ever want, the highest possible quality in a diet product, Isagenix has just nailed it. And that's why I did this test, and I'm so excited. Now, you who have been watching me for years, you can see, if I just take my goggles off here, you can see how much weight I've lost. And this has been in just 2 weeks. This stuff really works. And yet, Isagenix actually got their start creating the absolute best whey protein for Olympic athletes to cut the fat, to trim right down and build that muscle mass up like no other product can. And if you're taking any kind of athletic product that has soy protein isolate in it, you are literally poisoning yourself. Stop doing it. Talk to me about Isagenix, because this is the best product there is. So, Doug, I'm impressed. 2 weeks, and I didn't even follow everything to the letter. I mean, I kind of ate here and there and had, you know, huge 1,800 calorie meals one night and whatnot, and I'm still losing the weight. Not just losing the weight, but losing my waistline and losing my body fat count, which is more important than anything. So I'm sorry, I'm getting so excited, but this is amazing. I've had this weight around my core for 10 years, Doug, and I was a raw foodist for the entirety of 2010. I worked out for about 5 hours per week during that period, and I got down doing that to where I am right now after just 2 weeks on Isagenix. So 1 year compared to 2 weeks. And so that sold me. So this is the first time you're hearing about it. I want you to get involved in this. This is a completely legitimate business. This is as close to the libertarian and anarcho-capitalist model that you can get, where we control the business. You become your own business owner instead of an employee. I mean, Doug, what kind of success are we seeing from people already who, you know, I haven't signed a single person up in this business as the recording of this video. I will be tomorrow morning. But I know others have signed people up, including yourself. Can you share about, you know, what people have been able to achieve in just a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I about 16 people in the last couple of weeks, and I think in the whole group, we've signed up about 60 in just about 2 weeks. We're just starting. It's going to grow very fast, very quick. We've been careful, Israel. The reason we call it the beta phase is we haven't really gone public with it. Our purpose is to get as many people in the liberty movement in early, so that when we go public, we've got non-liberty movement money coming in to build these networks that were started by liberty folk. MLMs are not pyramid schemes. If they were, the government would shut them down. If they were, it'd be too late for us in Isagenix, because it's a 10-year-old company. But that's not how it works. You can make more money than the person who recruits you. But even though that's true, timing can be important depending on who your team is, who's working with you. I'll give you an example of that. I've been in network marketing 35 years. And during those 35 years, I've been under contract, which limits me from doing other things in network marketing in other companies. Only for a period of 6 months have I been free from non-competes and non-disclosures to look for another company. And that was the 6 months I had. And after being tied up for 35 years, I wanted to make sure I picked a good company. And not just a company I could make money on and then have the company turn around and take my group away from me, but a company where I felt they would be honorable and I could keep what I built. And I chose Isagenix. And so right now is a very good time to get in Isagenix, because right now I'm going to spend my money and my time building it. When it's built, I'm not going to have as much time to help people get started. And we've got, Israel, we have 14 network marketing leaders, people who've made, some of them $1 million a year off network marketing, who are professional network marketers, who are focused to help us in building this Liberty Network. And they too, right now, are available and free to help people build their networks. But there'll be a time when there's too many thousands of distributors for them to be able to give up all day, day after day after day to help someone get started. So right now is a very good time. This is a very good time to get going.
Right. And people, the company is so open that I have been having continual conversations on the phone, through email, through text messages with both Kathy Coover, who is one of the founders of the company, and also her son Eric Coover. You would expect a company that's done close to $2 billion in sales to be a little more closed off and talking to somebody who's not even signing people up, just testing the products. And yet they've made themselves available to me, and you know, they've held many calls for us, haven't they, where they've come on the call and explained the business model. This is a very, very different thing to what you might be thinking it is. So I'm sold on the products. I've been involved in health and nutrition and naturopathy for 22 years. I don't have a problem with the ingredients in the products. I've got a lot of my friends who are suggesting, Israel, but you know, you just need to eat the fresh food and so forth. And I understand that, but there comes a time where your body's physiology can change, and simply eating right is not going to cut it. And you can hack the body a little by giving it exactly what it wants, which is this pure protein. And I mean, you can see the results. I mean, go back, look at my side profile here, go back and look at the Gary Johnson interview I did a few months ago, and look at how much I weighed then compared to now. And this is all thanks to Isagenix. So I'm sorry, Doug, I'm really impressed. I'm excited about getting into this. Everybody, we are building a team called Team IARCA. You can find it at iarca.co. That's the web address you can see on the screen right now. Really short, no M on the end there, just iarca.com, .co, sorry. And here on this website, you're going to find all about the business and everything, but it's really a health and wellness resource where you're going to be able to find everything you need to know about eating well, about fitness, about how to move, how to exercise to get the best and the fastest response from your body. It's not about pushing Isagenix, it's about getting people well, and we use Isagenix as one of our core components of that. So hey, thank you for watching this. Sorry if this sounds like, you know, a bit of a marketing thing. I guess it is. But this is worth it, and I hope you will join me. You can call me right now with the number on your screen, or if somebody else in my team has shown this video to you, then please talk to them instead of me, because they're the ones who will sign you up, not me. And I really hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope you'll get involved. You'll be helping me, but if you let me help you build a business as well, then you can reap the rewards of this too, and not just use the products, but build a healthy, thriving small business of your own. Doug, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for introducing me to this. I feel really honored that you picked me right off the bat, and I can't thank you enough.
Thanks. It's going to be fun.
It is. It really is. All right, well, thanks for watching, and call the number on your screen. That number will get you straight through to me. Please don't call unless it's about this business, but if it is about this business, I would love to hear your voice and talk to you about what we're doing. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.